Welcome back. Today's video is not going to be on Alzheimer's. I'm doing a video today on vinyl records. As most of you are aware, Deborah and I collect vinyl records. Most of it is classic rock, but we do get into other genres as well. We have a video channel that I'm obviously posting on today, but I also post videos on music, on classic rock, on some classic rock YouTube channels. Some of these channels are very large, 300, 400,000 subscribers. So it gets a lot of publicity. A lot of people like to watch videos and specifically to see what other people have in their collection, which is what I'm going to do today. Several months ago, I did a video on just a little bit about and kind of give you a little bit of a tour of my stereo system and up on our second floor where our albums are located. So I want to go into a little more detail on some of the albums that we have that we would classify as collectible. So we're going to start with Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Okay, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, as most people are aware, it's an American group here in the US. This particular album is a first pressing. So let me explain first pressing. Again, American group, so we know that the first pressing most likely would have been in the United States. The British bands, The Who, for instance, they would have, their first pressings would be typically in the UK. Could have had a pressing later in the same year or the next year here in the United States. You can always tell to see the country of origin. Simply look at the back cover or look at the label and it'll tell you, it'll either say US or it may have an England address. But in this case, we have a first pressing, 1968. The album here, you notice, has no ring wear. I'm classifying this as a near mint. Mint means that it is still sealed. This one is not sealed. You can see the record. I always store these with the record outside of the original sleeve and outside of the cover. This one I paid $15 for. I've got quite a bit of history on this record, and usually what I'll do is I do a Word document with an explanation of how I arrive at valuations. I happen to know of one that sold for around $200 that had ring wear around the outside. It was still near mint, the vinyl barely played, and it looked really good. But so I put a value on this one at $225. Okay, moving right along, we have Beatles. I'm sure this album cover is familiar to a lot of people. This is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. This was originally released in '67 in the UK. This is a reissue. This is not an original. An original would be worth a lot of money. This is a '69 reissue. I've got it classified or graded as very good plus. It is, I paid $16 for it, and I've got it listed on here for $40. It could be in the $30 to $50 range. Okay, the next one is Eagles. This is a 1975. This is a first pressing. The thing I like about this particular example is there is absolutely no wear at all. The other thing that was amazing when I took this out, there was a little flap where it was punched. I don't think this thing had ever been mounted on a turntable before. There were no scuff marks. The vinyl was pristine. I paid $15 for it. There's not a lot of examples. I've got it as a near mint. I'm listing it just for our own purposes here at $80. Okay, this is Starship. For you Jefferson Airplane Jefferson. Starship fans. This is, the year is 1985. The thing that is really nice about this is it is still sealed. It's never been opened. It's still in the original shrink wrap. We think it's an original pressing. I can get some information off of the numbers on the album cover, but obviously since it's sealed and I don't want to open it, I can't get to the runout codes. So we're thinking it's an original pressing. I paid $18 for it, and I've got it listed on here at $80. This one we could definitely is graded as a mint. There's no damage anywhere to the front, back, or the corners. Okay, the last one on this wall is Procol Harum. We love Procol Harum. They're an older group going back into the late 60s and early 70s. This example is called Broken Barricades. The thing that's kind of interesting about this and some of the reissues, you can see there's cutouts on here, and when you open the cover up, then you can see that the heads are actually on the sleeve. But anyway, this is Broken Barricades. The other thing, that this one was opened, however, it was still in the shrink wrap. It had been slit, but the shrink wrap was still intact. So that tells you how good example the cover is. I paid $18 for this, but because this is a first US pressing, I don't think I'd mentioned that, I paid $18 for this. I bought it on eBay. Someone that didn't know what they had, and there was one like it, again, that had a lot of corner damage that sold for $312. So I've got this one listed at $350, and it could actually be worth more than that. Okay, next is James Gang. This is James Gang Bang. Yes, it's just what it sounds like. The cover, this one is obviously in very good shape also. It has been opened. It's a 1973. And one of the reasons it's in such good shape is this is a reissue. It's a repress, it's not an original. It's still in really nice condition. I jumped right on this when I found this because I actually had this copy, had one when I was in college. I don't have that copy anymore, but I always wanted to have one. So anyway, that's James Gang. And Joe Walsh was not in James Gang Bang. Okay, this is Three Dog Night. Another copy that I had in college, not this exact copy. I found this for sale in a record store. It was $2. I haven't listened to it yet. I have no idea. This is Hard Labor. This was 1974 release. So again, I have no idea value-wise. Next is Out of the Blue by ELO, 1977. This is a first US pressing. They pressed a lot of these. This was a very popular album. There were actually, I think, 4 pressing plants that year when this was stamped in the US, but it is an original year as far as the pressing. And I paid $12 for it. I've only got it as very good. It does have some ticks when you're listening to it, so it's probably in the $30 range. This is one of my favorite in the collectibles category. This is Yes, Tormato. This is 1978. This is probably the rarest vinyl that we have in our collection. It's very hard to explain. I will say that this is a gold disc promo, meaning in the run out, the GD stamped means that it is gold disc. Just to tell you how rare it is, when I looked it up, I only know of 3 other copies in existence, and this one happens to be in very good condition. The vinyl itself, I've got as near mint. The album cover, it's all good. I also went through a complete explanation on the back so that if I ever sell this, if I ever listed it for sale, that I've got some provenance to go with where I got it and what I paid for it and why I paid what I did. The nice thing about this, the selling price, I paid $10 for it. I know of one that's in someone's collection. I actually watched it sell for $275. So we really don't know. So I just put an estimate of in the $200 to $400 range. And the last one we're going to talk about today is not classic rock. This is jazz. This is Miles Davis Tutu. It's very collectible, very popular. It is later. This is a 1986. This also happens to be, Tutu happens to be this happens to be a first pressing. I paid $8 for it, actually at a record store. And when we found out that it was the first pressing, which a lot of times they don't go into the detail at a record store, but we found it was the first pressing, and so I went on, got on the internet and I started looking around trying to find other copies, and I couldn't find anything that's really as nice as this. There is no ringware, no shelfware. It looks very good, very good. So we've got this one priced at $55. So that's it for today. That's a look at our collectibles. Talked a little bit about where we buy a lot of this. We buy some off of eBay. I've bought some off of Discogs. We really like to hit the thrift stores here in Omaha. Half-price books here in Omaha, and we've got several actual small record shops that I go to periodically. So, okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, depending on what platform you see this on, you can leave me a question. And if you're on YouTube, my email address is on my YouTube channel. And if you like this video, don't forget, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.